Communication practitioners identified as driving force for development and economic growth. Small and medium enterprises to benefit from Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And as the world commemorates Malaria Day, federal government seeks foreign support to tackle malaria burden in the country. These and more on Panorama, coming to you from Lagos Network Center. I am Ademola Adeoye. We shall be back shortly. Stay tuned. Communication practitioners have been identified as strategic in driving development through effective and positive messages to Nigerians on policies and programs of government. Special Advisor to the President on Economic Matters, Dr. Adeyemi Dikpeolu, and other key players stated this at an economic communications workshop organized by the Office of the Vice President. Finance and economic correspondent Cliff Ayozie reports.
44 commercially valuable minerals, including gold, abound in Nigeria. The creative and tourism industries remain economic gold mines extending to agricultural value chain and made in Nigerian products. But the media and communication practitioners appear not to have given in-depth reportage in these areas that could mark a turning point in the nation's economic recovery and growth plan. As a result, reasonable percentage of the citizenry seem not to have embraced government's roadmap towards harnessing the opportunities that abound in the nation. This is attributed to shortcomings on the part of communication practitioners and lack of openness on the part of government. This Presidential Economic Communications Workshop is aimed at bridging the gap.
Better understanding of government policy and processes, and as well as an appreciation of some of the things that are happening in the general economic space.
Nigeria's economic recovery and growth and micro, small and medium enterprises as an economic recovery initiative were among areas of focus.
In the world that thrive on only one resource, like Zambia, they thrive on only on copper. But we have at least 44 documented solid minerals. But how many Nigerians know of these solid minerals that can be exported? So we need to educate and enlighten ourselves.
Agencies critical to repositioning the economy through the micro, small and medium enterprises made presentations with news editors, communication practitioners and economic experts present. Issue of addressing challenges in the ease of doing business in Nigeria were also highlighted. In Abuja, Cliff Ayozie, NTA News.
The federal government has set up modalities towards changing the operations of the Bank of Agriculture to meet the demands of smallholder farmers. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, stated this at the inauguration of the interim executive of the bank in Abuja. Musa Babaliu has the details.
The new management of the Bank of Agriculture was recently constituted by the federal government as part of measures towards transforming and recapitalizing the institution. The team, under the leadership of the interim managing director Kabiru Mohammed, was charged by the Minister of Agriculture Audu Ogbe to provide credit facility to farmers at single-digit interest rate, debt recovery, and computerization of all the operations of the bank.
You have to find out how quickly we can help you digitalize your operations, because we expect that in 5 years you'll be the largest bank in this country, the most widespread. We'd like you to operate in every local government headquarters so that farmers can go there and transact business.
Certainly CBN had been discussing with us on how we can raise sufficient money. At some point in time we're even talking about seeing where we can raise up to $1 trillion.
Members of the executive promised to come up with innovations that will support all aspects of agricultural productivity and government initiative on economic diversification.
We want to improve on the number, particularly workers. We want to make sure that our response time to the farmers is reduced in such a way that whenever a farmer asks for support from the bank, he gets instantly and at the time that request is needed.
Members of the executive inaugurated include Prince Akinzua, Executive Director Corporate Finance, Okinwa Gabriel, Executive Director Partnership and Strategy, while Ami Ocho is the Executive Director Credit and Empowerment. Bode Abikoy is the Executive Director Credit and Empowerment Southwest. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
1,000 micro, small and medium enterprises are to benefit from the 25 billion naira Lagos State Employment Trust Fund before the end of this month. This is part of efforts to reduce unemployment and create wealth. Governor Akinwumi Ambode disclosed this during an interactive session with residents of Shibiri Ekunpa in Otoawori Local Government Development Area in Lagos State. Victoria Olabode reports.
Highlighting some of his major achievements, Governor Akinwumi Ambode said all parts of the state will be developed to decentralize commercial activities that might lead to congestion in some areas of the state.
We are actually targeting all our artisans. So the carpenters, the bricklayers, those selling cement, those selling sand, those doing those little jobs that even if it's a minimum of 5,000 naira they take home every day. We're happy that at least we're able to sustain their families, and that's why we're doing it in every part.
The governor also urged youths and women to access various opportunities on the platform of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Governor Ambode at the forum ordered that 250 handicaps be employed into the Lagos State Civil Service in the next 2 weeks.
We must not disenfranchise those who are fiscally challenged due to no fault of theirs. So obviously, Ministry of Social Development should take immediate action on issues that relate to fiscally challenged people, and they must be part of the inclusion we are talking about.
Residents of Shibiri Ekunpa during an interactive session bore their minds by presenting numerous requests that were immediately granted and responded to by the governor. In Lagos, Victoria Olabode, NTA News.
The Nigerian Governors Forum is seeking the support of the United States to address the malaria burden in the country. Chairman of the forum and Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Abubakar Yari at an event to mark the 2017 Malaria Day at the American Embassy said the support will go a long way in addressing the challenge. Muriji Natu Adam Sahid reports.
Malaria is said to have claimed more lives in Nigeria than other diseases put together. Different measures have been taken by successive governments at all levels to address the malaria challenge. While malaria is said to have reduced in recent, it still accounts for more than 80 million illnesses and about 30,000 deaths annually. As the world marks the 2017 World Malaria Day on April 25th, the American Embassy organized this event to sensitize the public on malaria.
To remind ourselves as to what we need to do to put malaria under lock and key.
Chairman, Nigerian Governors Forum, Abdulaziz Abubakar Yari, used the opportunity to count the cause of malaria. He noted that combating malaria means more productivity.
Malaria is a environmental health challenge that results in deaths of thousands of children and pregnant women every year in Nigeria.
We stand committed together as a global community to end this terrible disease for good.
Reducing the malaria burden is a cause that needs the support and participation of all. In Abuja, Murjanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
The Western Naval Command of the Nigerian Navy has flagged off its second quarter Health Awareness Week with a visit to motor parks in Lagos. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Ferguson Bobai, said the exercise is in line with the social responsibility program of the Nigerian Navy. Rotimi Oluwagbemi has the details.
Residents as well as market women converge on Alayabiagba Motor Park in Apapa Jebule to be part of the free medical services organized by the Western Naval Command. Some of the services provided include free HIV test, distribution of mosquito-treated nets, and condoms to prevent sexually transmitted diseases. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command Rear Admiral Ferguson Bubai said the event is aimed at bringing medical services to the less privileged in the society.
We have some contemporary issues in the health sector, bordering in the nation, and we have keyed into the issue of depression. We have keyed into the issue of meningitis, which are very key issues in discourse.
Let them know that HIV is still very much around with us. It has not gone away yet.
There was an enlightenment session that enabled participants to ask questions as regard to their health challenges. Some of the beneficiaries comment.
It's quite commendable. And in fact, today I'm impressed.
This is how poor people can benefit in this Nigeria. So I say, may God bless them.
I thank federal government for what they are doing because it's a very good program.
The one-week event, according to the organizer, will feature lecture on meningitis and other health-related issues in the society. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
The Lagos state government said it has not recorded any case of meningitis, and adequate measures are in place for prevention, early detection and treatment of the disease. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Jide Idris, made a disclosure during the 2017 ministerial press briefing at Alausa in Ikeja, Lagos. Victoria Olabode reports.
The Commissioner for Health, Jide Idris, enumerated some of the major feats of the ministry to include second kidney transplant at Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, LASUTH, in June 2016, capacity building programs, and establishment of 9 local government areas for free medical treatment. He said 42 medical personnel have been punished for negligence.
During the period, the health sector has made great progress. More than 4 million people have had access to our facilities. More than 30,000 have been seen, more than 80,000 have been seen at current medical missions for treatment of common ailments at the grassroots. And there's a renewed vision to kickstart the Lagos Health Insurance Scheme to improve access to healthcare services.
In the same vein, the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Lala Akonde, highlighted numerous empowerment and development programs of the ministry under review to include senior citizens empowerment.
As a matter of emphasis, that our worker will continue to embark on activities, programs and policies that will lead to total emancipation of Lagos women and place them in the same pedestal with their counterparts in advanced countries of the world.
She said Child Development Program has been formally moved from the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to Ministry of Youth and Social Development. In Lagos, Victoria Olabode, NTA News.
You're still on to Panorama, coming to you from Lagos Network Center. We now take a break for some messages, after which Panorama continues. Stay with us.
Nigerians, our fearless officers and men of the Nigerian military are winning the war against Boko Haram. Today, all occupied territories have been recovered and Boko Haram has been degraded. Our affected brothers and sisters are getting their lives back. However, they are now after you and me. In our mosques, churches, schools, motor parks, markets, entertainment centers, and public gatherings. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me. Nigeria, unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, says the federal government is injecting 30 billion naira into the mining sector, just as the World Bank is releasing $150 billion intervention fund to bring the mines to their optimum potential. It was while touring coal mines in Enugu State. Beauty Ehobame reports.
Is
the third leg of the nationwide tour of mining locations across the country by Dr. Fayemi as the Minister for State in a bid to produce a roadmap for the growth and development of the sector in collaboration with concerned communities in the southeast. The minister, who acknowledged the devastation in Oyama and Opara mines, which have been moribund since 1999 and 2000 respectively, explained that the federal government planned to diversify the economy from oil by identifying the challenges in the sector has become imperative. He said the sector, if fully developed, can generate extra power for the country.
We don't resting on our horns, but ultimately, the reason why we're doing this is because mining has gone to level 0 in Nigeria.
We are very grateful to the federal government of today that has made it necessary. We focus again on solid minerals.
Some miners in the southeast had first-hand opportunity to bear their minds on the challenges confronting the sector to the minister, who took time to clear the air. In Enugu, Beauty Robami, NTA News.
Insurgency and terrorism can be tackled through intelligence and information gathering. This was the submission of the Nigerian Army in its quest to rid the country of Boko Haram attacks. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai disclosed this while playing host to Bangladesh counterpart at the Flag House in Lagos. Abolade Salami has the report.
Well, Nigerian Army in recent times have had to engage the Boko Haram sect in an unconventional warfare in order to restore peace and reclaim captured territories in some northern parts of the country. To employ other strategic means of combating terrorism and insurgency in the country, the Nigerian Army is strengthening its synergy with its Bangladesh counterparts, who over the years had battled with insurgency and defeated it. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai emphatically stated that the Army remained resolute in its fight against insurgency in Nigeria. He added that over the years, the Nigerian Army was involved in several operations, notably peacekeeping, internet security, and lately, the fight against Boko Haram terrorists.
They have had great experiences in counterinsurgency, and I would like the experience, to be brought to bear, on our own also. So the synergy, that is what we require.
While sharing ideas and successes recorded in counterinsurgency, his Bangladesh counterpart, General Habibalal Shafiq, says Bangladesh Army will collaborate with the Nigerian Army in the area of defeating terrorism in the country.
So we have a long experience in doing that, and there everything together we took into consideration while fighting the insurgency. We can share our experience with Nigerian Army and also our experience in the UN mission.
The Army General was thereafter shown some facility in the Flag House. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Following a deluge of cases of corruption in Nigeria courts across the country, the need to reappraise the prosecution and investigative processes have become imperative. This was the position of speakers during the week at a roundtable discuss on perpetual hearings and delayed justice on corruption cases in Nigeria, organized by the Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership in Lagos. Tunde Saiki has the details.
Since the commencement of the anti-corruption war in Nigeria, several revelations, arrests, investigations and prosecutions as well as convictions have been made by the various agencies saddled with that responsibility. Over 80% of these cases are said to be delayed in courts across the country. It's against this background that some Nigerians are asking questions about the competence and efficiency of the anti-corruption agencies and the judicial system to handle these cases.
A lot of Nigerians are wondering what exactly is happening in the society as far as the war against corruption is concerned.
Other discussants commended the efforts of government in its achievements so far, adding that corruption will be a thing of the past if the agencies and stakeholders in the fight are adequately empowered to do their jobs.
I think it is high time. The battle was owned by the Nigerian people. The fight against corruption has to be owned by the Nigerian people, particularly the victims of corruption. Unless we do that, there's no way the government can succeed. No government can fight any war alone. Whether it's a war against terrorism or against corruption, the people have to be mobilized.
These agencies that are brought into people's help in the ground that if they are not sure to repeatedly do what they know how best to do, that comparative advantage of being specialized in that area is acquired.
So it precludes that you will read everything from A to Z and you respond to everything. Those that you believe are not within your mandate, you will have to write the letter. All these letters will take time. You will post this letter using your resources.
The event, which had in attendance members of the civil society organizations, security agents, academia, and legal practitioners, had as its theme perpetual hearing and delayed justice on corruption cases in Nigeria, causes, effects, and way forward. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Plans are underway by the Nigerian Film Corporation to collaborate with the Nigerian Communications Commission, service providers, and other relevant government agencies to have a dedicated access for Nigerian movies. The managing director of the Nigerian Film Corporation, Chida Maduekwe, disclosed this at a stakeholders interactive workshop on job creation in Lagos.
The provision of a bandwidth for Nigerian movies, the managing director of the corporation explained, will facilitate streaming and marketing of movies for social and economic benefits. He stated that the motion picture industry is a major player in the global media and entertainment industry, with a visible evidence on the GDP of the nation. Chida Maduekwe highlighted piracy, obsolete laws, and poor distribution and exhibition as some of the factors militating against the growth of the industry.
We are going to hit more than 5 million people working in Nollywood industry. And so if we are going to do that, then the veritable platform of technology, which is the bandwidth, must be made available to enable the Nigerians who have suffered and work in that direction, control the releases, have revenue inflow to them, and then live a better life than they are living currently. I'm sick and tired of watching my Nollywood actors. When it's time to go to hospital in India, they will be, applying for sympathy donations here and there. I believe that their creativity will have generated more than enough revenue that anybody sick in the industry can find himself the money, goodwill to treat himself.
With dwindling oil revenue demands, stakeholders in the industry are of the opinion that movie producers should begin to make films with cutting-edge equipment in order to make them bankable. This, is said, will attract investors and government for funding.
We need to change the amount of money that people need to access to watch these movies. Then piracy will die. The movie maker, the producers of the movie, would have enough money to continue to make more movies. We will create a lot of employment for people.
We've been having issues with content. When a producer comes up with a film about rituals, every other person goes to that same rituals. If it's a love story, everybody will turn to a love story. Why? Because maybe that story sells. But you see, there's what you call creativity. If you are very, very creative in having your own content, I don't think there's any need for us to be one-sided.
Efforts to establish a trust fund for credit flow, review of obsolete laws to meet modern trends, establishment of a film institute to complement training, and the making of Mobicon, a regulatory body of repute, were all captured in the communique at the end of the workshop. The forum attracted actors, filmmakers, screenwriters, and legal practitioners, among other players in the nation's movie industry.
And now to sports. National Sports Federation elections to hold May 30th after guidelines amendments as 2017 Pinnacle Amateur Golf Openings ends in Kaduna. Dane Desani is our guide on Sports Update.
Elections into boards of national sports federations will hold on May 30th, 2017. The amended